What was that play? Oh my God, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack!
Did Caitlin Clark just get robbed in broad daylight by a whistle? Because what we witnessed in that Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty game wasn't just basketball. It was a masterclass in how to hijack a win. A night that should have been a highlight reel for Clark and the Fever turned into an officiating nightmare that even a haunted house wouldn't dare recreate.
Like footage has emerged, proving WNBA referees definitely have an agenda against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
The refs were blowing whistles like it was a Black Friday sale. The only thing missing was one of them in a striped jersey doing a post-game interview about how they single-handedly flipped the outcome. But hey, what do you think? Sound off in the comments and let us know your thoughts on the WNBA officiating. Let's go.
I can't believe what I'm about to say. The Indiana Fever, with the strongest, loudest, most intimidating home court advantage in all the WNBA, just got robbed at home. I saw it with my own two eyes live on CBS against the defending champion New York Liberty.
Let's cut straight to the madness. Fourth quarter, game tighter than your grandma's Tupperware lid. Out of nowhere, Sabrina Ionescu draws a foul on Lexie Hull. So soft, you'd need a microscope and a wild imagination to see it. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark gets bulldozed driving to the basket, and nothing. Not a peep. The kind of silence that screams louder than a buzzer beater. This wasn't just a bad call. It was the basketball version of gaslighting.
Oh, they hacked DeWanna Bonner and they hacked Caitlin Clark. They are both hacks. They are both hacks. They hacked Fever twice, and then there was a phantom foul called on Sabrina Ionescu.
And then we get to the stat that tells the whole story, like a snitch. New York shot 32 free throws. Indiana, just 15. That's not a discrepancy. That's a full-blown mathematical insult. You don't need a calculator to feel that imbalance. This wasn't just home court bias. It was full-on ref roulette. And the Fever were the ones left spinning.
They fell behind by 15 in the first half. No huge surprise. But boy, they stormed back as Caitlin Clark finally snapped out of her three-point funk slump.
Here's the wild part. The game started like it was headed for a New York blowout. The Fever were down 15 at the half, but Caitlin and company said, not so fast, storming back with gritty defense and highlight plays. Clark hit a deep three at the buzzer to end the third, and the crowd went wild. It felt like something special was brewing. But just when momentum was swinging Indiana's way, the refs pulled the plug, like someone tripped over the power cord.
And now you see Phoebish starting off on Caitlin Clark. New York is pretty coy about how they would defend her. Boston, they roll the catch and puts it into two.
When...
What followed was a sequence of officiating so sketchy, you'd think the refs were getting paid in Liberty merch. Sabrina gets a trip to the line for pushing herself into Lexie Hull. Seriously, where's the foul? That's not defense, that's daylight robbery.
Chance to give the Liberty the lead.
I mean, she turns the corner and gets downhill. I don't know, Lexie Hull vertical. Maybe that's offense-initiated contact, and maybe Stephanie
White chooses not to challenge. You think about the foul on the previous play with Sabrina and how she went at Lexie Hull. They call it that time. Bonner gets whacked on the other end. They don't do anything.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's getting bodied in the paint like she wandered into a rugby match. Crickets. The replays didn't lie. They screamed. The crowd saw it. The broadcast team saw it. Twitter saw it. But the refs? They must have been watching a different game entirely.
You had Sabrina coming down off of a layup where she just falling, man. She's just falling, all right? Now, if you wanted to call that a foul, fine. But what happened? What happened with Caitlin Clark? Doing the same fall, fam. Doing the same fall. She's falling just like that, but no call.
Then, like this game wasn't already a farce, Dana Bonner gets smacked. And surprise, still no call. At this point, the only thing more consistent than the missed whistles was the Liberty's free throw parade. You'd think the Fever were playing defense with foam noodles, the way the whistles kept flying in just one direction.
But she's in position, and it looked like she just got hacked, smashed, tackled. I don't know. The ball goes sideways. It looked like a body foul. It looked like an arm hack. I don't know. They didn't replay it conclusively, but just in real time, I thought that's just a foul. You just gotta send her to the line. I think they were trying to foul her because she was so wide open off such a miraculous pass.
And it got worse. Every time the Fever built a little momentum, another whistle came down like divine punishment.
Just really quick, man. There's no way you have the liberty shooting 32 free throw attempts and the Indiana Fever shooting 15 free throw attempts in this game, fam, and are able to say the refs weren't one-sided. There's no way.
Key players Clark, Hull, and Mitchell all got slapped with fouls like it was a birthday party, and they were the piñata. Meanwhile, the Liberty Stars floated through the game untouched, stress-free, and magically immune to fouls. It was almost poetic, if poetry was fueled by rage and terrible officiating.
This is Caitlin Clark, who I still think has a great chance to win MVP. Obviously, she's the most popular player in the league. She's at home in front of that crowd, and you don't give her that call?
Fans lost it. Social media erupted. Is this a game or a setup? One person tweeted. Others were even more blunt, rigged, scripted, protecting the Liberty like they're a national treasure. And honestly, can you blame them? This didn't feel like a few bad calls. It felt like the league sent the refs a memo titled, "Don't let Indiana win."
Quite a game. They've done a great job of rigging this. They've done a great job of rigging this league. The league, they're not even being subtle. They're not even being subtle. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Look, we all know officiating isn't perfect. Humans miss calls. But this wasn't human error. This was a steady drip of one-sided decisions that somehow all tipped toward New York. A late-game whistle fest here, an ignored foul there, a bonus trip to the line, possession by possession. The game slipped away from the Fever. Not because of defense, not because of execution, but because of Stripes who decided they were the Stars.
Got it down to the wire. We're at Fever. And I'm thinking, okay, they got a real shot here. And then they didn't have a shot because of 3 straight awful pro-liberty calls that I just can't believe what I just witnessed. These are the Fever of Caitlin Clark at home.